You're gonna dig it.
New information is released after a body is found in Tar Creek in Miami.
Truman Days is taking place here at the former president's birthplace in Lamar. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with the role that events like this play in keeping history alive.
We're taking you to the Jasper County Sheriff's Office for its annual Community Day. A Zoomathon event is held to support Christian Hetty.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
We could be in for some showers and possibly a few strong storms tonight. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Chris Warner. We go straight to meteorologist Nick Kelly for an update. Nick.
Before we get to that update, Chris, I wanted to bring everybody's attention to the numbers that we have for today, because after the morning round of scatter storms we went from a chilly 58 to a warm 83, warmer than our normal high of 75 for this time of the year. Now our attention, though, is shifting to this severe thunderstorm watch clipping Lynn, Bates, Cedar, St. Clair, Vernon, and Bourbon counties until 5 a.m. because even though we don't have anything on the radar right now, this cluster of thunderstorms are finally starting to congeal, come together, and eventually take a dive toward the east and southeast. Let me quickly show you the future track. We're good up until about 1 a.m. Then the leading edge of the thunderstorms will start sneaking into our northeastern counties with still a severe threat possible, mainly wind and hail, if the storms can hold together as they clip parts of our area overnight, Chris. So that's something we're tracking. Plus, we'll see what Mother's Day looks like behind these storm chances coming up here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Grand River Dam Authority police are asking for the public's help identifying a body recovered from Tar Creek in Miami today. Officials with the Grand River Dam Authority police say a person contacted them regarding a body in Tar Creek just north of the Neosho River in Miami. Officials with the GRDA police say the body was recovered and taken by the medical examiner. The victim is described as a male with reddish-brown hair, facial hair, a thin build, around 5'8" to 5'10" tall, with no tattoos. Anyone with information is asked to contact the GRDA police. The investigation is ongoing. Well, the town of Lamar held their annual Truman Days celebrating the former president's birthday. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with people at the event to see what inspires them to take part.
The town of Lamar was transported back to the 1800s on Saturday. Lamar's Chamber of Commerce and the Harry S. Truman Birthplace Historic Site teamed up to celebrate the former president's birthday.
We tell the story that, this is what it was like to live in those times. We also have your living historians here.
And for younger people in attendance, it teaches them what life back then was really like.
What was it like as a child whenever the late 40s, early 50s when Harry was president? What kind of games did they have? What kind of music did they listen to? What kind of, things did they wear? So, I think it's definitely important to, just educate others on that and, just celebrate that Harry was born here.
A local Lamar father, Andy Van Gilder, brought his daughter Riley to learn more about their town's history.
Well, that's a pretty cool heritage. Harry S. Truman was from Missouri, and not just Missouri, from Lamar. And it's good to teach the kids that nowadays, and we just want to come up here and enjoy that.
Yes, that Truman was born in Lamar. It's just cool.
One event participant put on an old-time medicine show from the 1800s, performing folk songs and adding magic to their shows, which he says is part of American tradition.
Because history's important. We can't know our future if we don't know our past. People that don't realize that there was a time when there were no cars, no telephones, no internet, no Wii. No Wi-Fi, and it was a much simpler time.
Events like this reacquaint people with this time. In Lamar, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Well, the Jasper County Sheriff's Office hosted their annual Community Day after they had to cancel last year's due to the pandemic, so we decided to check it out. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office got the community together after spending a long time apart.
Well, it's great to be back. We enjoy putting this on for the community. We were saddened, actually, that we couldn't do this last year, so we're super excited to be back this year.
Sheriff Randy Kaiser knows it's been a tumultuous year for law enforcement, making this year's Community Day more important.
I think it's always important for the law enforcement agencies to have a good working relationship with the communities. One of the ways that we can do that is to spend time with them, to build relationships.
And according to the kids in attendance, they did a good job building those relationships.
Because kind of nice. I really do like it. It's very fun. I like the bounce house. I did check out the big SWAT van. That thing is humongous. It was humongous.
Hoyt Boyd's brother, Wyatt, found the sheriff's car interesting.
It was fun. I like how they cage it off and stuff so they can't get out.
For Hoyt, Saturday's Community Day left a lasting impression.
And I think I might want to actually change my future job into being a cop. I know it might be a little dangerous, but hey, it's all about protecting your city or your country or your state.
Gabe Mercer has a special connection with the department. Even though he's only 12, he's a wanted man playing a suspect in the SWAT team demo.
Basically just sit in the car, and they do is they throw a flashbang and drop out of the car, and they like they would a bad guy, and they can't behind your back and handcuff you.
Well, they're very fun. I do like it here. They are very nice, and I do respect that. 10 out of 10 respect.
That flashbang will get you every time. Kaiser says it's also a great way for his deputies to take a break from the day-to-day challenges that they face. 4-staters and folks in Newton County came out to support the Newton County Fairgrounds by bidding on items at a consignment auction today. The event was held by the Friends of the Newton County Fair Board Group and run by professional auctioneer Bob Laswell and Venture Group Auctions, who donated all auction commissions. That money will go towards fairground improvements and upgrades, and auction organizers say they're happy to be a part of an effort to spruce up a place that's so important to the Newton County community.
It feels really great. My favorite part is seeing all the children running around and helping out, and you can tell that their parents are raising them in a way that, we work hard and we give back, and they're here giving their Saturday, helping as well, and I know that this eventually is all for them anyway as the next generation coming up, and it's just really cool.
The auction featured everything from firearms to farm machinery and even a pretty cool motorcycle. Well, Everybody Fitness in Joplin hosted a Zumbathon to raise funds for Christian Hetty. Tons of people came to from the community came out to break a sweat and fundraise for the Hetty family. 100% of admission tickets, as well as all proceeds from the event's silent auction, went towards the family. One participant says she came out to help any way that she could.
I have 10 grandchildren, and my oldest one actually goes to school with Christian. He's a year older. But it just touched my heart when we heard what was, everything that was going on with him. And so we just wanted to make sure that we could help any way we can.
The owner of Everybody Fitness says everyone who came out today did so in support of the Hetty family to help them cover any medical expenses they may have. Well, the CDC reports today that the rate of new infections in this country has dropped more than 80% in the past 4 months. CBS's Danya Bacchus is in Pasadena, California tonight with more.
A home run for fans at Atlanta's Truist Park. The Braves welcomed a full, mostly maskless crowd for the first time since the pandemic started.
I feel confident in the safety measures the Braves are taking and feel comfortable being at an outside event at full capacity.
Fans were even able to get a vaccine shot. Tonight, 1 in 3 Americans are now fully vaccinated, and millions more could become eligible as soon as next week if the FDA authorizes the Pfizer shot for 12 to 15-year-olds. On Friday, the CDC updated its position, acknowledging the virus can be transmitted through airborne particles even when more than 6 feet apart. That clarification comes as new infections are falling nationally. In once hard-hit New Jersey, cases have declined more than 70% in the past month, just as the governor prepares for a broad reopening.
This is my Mother's Day gift.
And as Americans head out with Mom this Mother's Day weekend,
I've had 0 host applicants.
Restaurants are still 1.7 million jobs below their pre-pandemic level.
We definitely have the clientele, we definitely have the business. Now it's just the part trying to get people to come in to work.
According to a recent survey from the National Restaurant Association, nearly half of the nation's restaurants report staffing is down nearly 20%, and most restaurant operators don't expect staffing to return to normal anytime soon. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Pasadena, California.
We take this time now to honor one of our many 4-state heroes. Radio Men's second class Carolyn Greenelsh served in the Navy from 1942 to 1945 and was among the first group of women to receive an overseas assignment, her hometown, Jasper. And we are proud to recognize Radio Men's second class Carolyn Greenelsh, tonight's four-state hero. And that is a look at our top stories and a quick check of that forecast on the KOAM News at 10. Still ahead, federal authorities are investigating a major cyber attack against America's energy infrastructure. Plus, voting rights advocacy groups holding votercades across the country. We'll take you to one of those in Denver. Federal authorities are investigating a major cyber attack targeting America's energy infrastructure. Georgia-based Colonial Pipeline says it was hit by ransomware. The company responded by shutting its entire system down to protect it. Its pipelines run more than 5,000 miles from the Gulf Coast to New Jersey. The company transports 45% of the fuel consumed on the East Coast. Christina Ruffini is at the White House with more.
Colonial Pipeline says it pumps 100 million gallons of fuel through its network every day. But right now, that number is zero. The company shut down its pipeline Friday after a cyber attack compromised its IT system. We have since determined that this incident involves ransomware, it said in a statement. In response, we proactively took certain systems offline to contain the threat. Colonial did not say and may not yet know who instigated the attack. Ransomware is an extortion tactic by which criminals infiltrate computer systems, steal data, and demand money for its release. Industrial cybersecurity expert Rob Lee.
Is there any industry or infrastructure that isn't vulnerable to these kinds of attacks right now?
Not at all. Our industrial networks are way more connected than they ever have been before. We haven't historically invested in them as much. Once we do that, we will see a lot of that risk reduce.
In February, a hacker gained access to a Florida water treatment plant in what authorities believe was a failed attempt to contaminate its drinking water. And last year's so-called SolarWinds breach used a software update to slip malicious code into dozens of government agencies and major U.S. companies. The White House says the Russian intelligence service was behind those keystrokes. The White House said President Biden was briefed about the incident this morning, and the federal government is working with the industry to try to avoid shortages. Those pipelines carry everything from jet fuel to home heating oil. Christina Ruffini, CBS News, the White House.
Voting rights advocacy groups named today the John Lewis Rights Advancement Action Day. Groups from all over the country held events to fight voter suppression. Michael Abiada from our affiliate KCNC in Denver has more.
In 5 Points Saturday, it seemed like this small group of people was getting ready for a small, quiet event. They're decorating their cars for a votercade, a motorcade to promote voting rights in America.
We will drive slow towards the Capitol and then come back here.
But that quiet, laid-back attitude wouldn't last long.
We are going to make a lot of noise.
And make noise they did. The Colorado chapter of Asian and Pacific Islander Vote America organized this demonstration because they feel like people's right to vote is under attack.
There are over 360 initiatives and laws that are trying to be passed around the country, even in Colorado.
Happy to be here. One person who showed up to show support, even though he didn't drive in the votercade, was Blaine Bagot. He says all people should be able to participate in democracy if they're eligible.
I think everybody's voice is important, and that confidence that everybody knows that their voice matters is a very important thing.
While they demonstrated all over downtown, they did so under the watchful gaze of late Congressman John Lewis, who dedicated his life to ensuring all Americans could vote. Giselle Rushford, the APIA Vote Executive Director, says she thinks Representative Lewis would appreciate their efforts.
It's probably sad that we still have to do it, but he's happy that we're doing it.
Well, things turned out pretty good today, but change is on the way. Nick Kelly's up next with his complete forecast.
Many have served. Most don't.
Taken home the very same day.
We managed to keep things pretty quiet after a morning round of rain and scattered thunderstorms. And once we got that break in the action, we finally were able to see the sunshine that we got warm us up into the lower 80s across much of the area. So it looked good overall from Indigo Sky, even with the morning cloud cover. But you were able at least to dodge the morning round of rain and storms, as we expected the other night. Mainly an issue for our far northeastern counties as we got the overnight hours underway and into this early morning. From that batch of rain and storms, about 0.2 of an inch on average, but you can see in this narrow corridor, the rain amount certainly added up about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in some of the heavier spots. But even though we're not seeing anything in our immediate area right now, there is a severe thunderstorm watch clipping Lynn, Bourbon, Vernon, Cedar, St. Clair, and Bates counties until 5 a.m. because of what's happening just to our north and northwest. This big cluster of thunderstorms, we've got a couple embedded tornado warnings wanting to clip parts of our area overnight. Not expecting any of the tornado threat ongoing around Topeka and Salina to head our way, but those are storms that we'll have to keep an eye on as we go through the overnight. Right now, though, we're quiet in Joplin, still a bit warm at 75, with the dew point at 61 and the humidity at 62%. Most of us are mainly in the mid-70s. Hard to believe that. At 10 o'clock at night on this Saturday, they're all wanting to see if they can fuel these incoming thunderstorms as they begin to emerge out of north central and northeastern Kansas. These storms are primarily riding along a warm front draped across Kansas City and just to the north and east of our area, but we'll have to see if some of those southern storms can try and clip us overnight. Then we got to wait for this cold front to sweep through overnight. That's going to lead to a cooler Mother's Day for us with this lingering upper low near Montana, helping to aid the storm chances tonight for some of you. This wants to play a role in our forecast once we get beyond tomorrow morning. Let's break down this forecast here. At 10 o'clock, the thunderstorms to our north and west. But once we hit 1 a.m., the leading edge of the storms wants to start working into our northern counties. If this complex of storms was to do anything in terms of severe weather, it will be between 1 and 4 a.m. in our northeastern counties. Main threats here would be wind, then maybe hail. The tornado threat, it's not zero, but it's still looking pretty low considering the tornado threat wants to stay along the I-70 corridor on the Kansas side. But after these storms plow through, we'll still have to deal with some scattered rain and storms as we go into tomorrow morning. You can see how the severe thunderstorm risk map really pretty much lines up with what we're thinking. In our far northern counties, between midnight or 1 a.m. to about 4 a.m., wind and hail still, I think, are our biggest issues. Thankfully, these rain chances don't last all day, but even though we dry out in the afternoon tomorrow, we'll be behind that cold front, and with a northerly wind, temperatures are actually going to drop throughout the course of the day. We'll be at 63 in the morning, 55 at noon, and then only rebounding to about 57 across much of the area as we wrap up this weekend and for your Mother's Day afternoon. That upper low near Montana wants to keep some rain chances around Monday through Wednesday, and that in turn will keep us in the lower 60s for highs. Drying out Thursday and Friday, highs back in the mid-70s by Friday, Chris, and then another shot for storms by next Saturday.
Still pretty an active evening could be ahead for some of us tonight.
But regardless who gets it or who doesn't, we'll keep an eye on everything throughout the night.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. Well, coming up in sports, one PSU athlete breaks multiple records at the MIAA Outdoor Championships. Plus, Pittsburgh State baseball closes out the regular season with a win. Danny Terzer has the highlights next.
The employer.
Pittsburgh State hosts the MIAA Outdoor Championships this weekend. The Pitt State and Missouri Southern men and women's teams are all in the top 25. The PSU men, though, won this year's indoor championships and are aiming to go 2 for 2 this spring season. Today is the first day of events in the men's hammer throw. Missouri Southern and Pitt State athletes lock up the top 4. Missouri Southern's Josh Fulmer places 4th. One spot above him is PSU's Connor Swenson. Travis Peterson gets the second place finish for the Lions, but on top is Levi Wyrick. Wyrick wins the event with this throw here. He knew it too, 221.5 feet. That sets a personal record, school record, and breaks the MIAA conference record.
About turn 3, I knew I was in the right spot to do the right thing. And then when I let go of the ball, I knew it was big. But when you can watch them fly, you know they're going far, and so that's when I knew I'd found a good one. It was just such an amazing atmosphere, and I can't be more thankful for everything they've done for me, and I'm just so happy today.
Pittsburgh State baseball's 7-game winning streak was snapped on Friday. The Gorillas dropped 2 games to Emporia State. Today is the last remaining game of the regular season. PSU looks to close out the series and the regular season on a high note. In the 6th, Aaron Gertis over the back wall, 2-run home run. PSU still going. Blaine Olmeyer sends it out to right. Another 2-run jack. Gorillas with a 5-run rally in the 6th to take their first lead of the game. Hornets now Cooper Minnick. That's a solo homer. And it's back to a tie. Then Caleb Carr deep to center. That one is gone. Another lead change. Gorillas on top. PSU gets the job done, winning 9-7. Missouri Southern also closes out the regular season against Rogers State today. The Lions rack up 5 runs in the 8th to win 10-4. Troy Gagnon and Clay Milas get 3 RBI each. The Lions finish with a 29-11 record and secure the number 3 seed in the MIAA championship. At the junior college level, postseason play is underway. Crowder is hosting the Region 16 sub-regional series against Three Rivers. The Rough Riders won Game 1 on Friday, 11-3. Back at it today to close out the series. The Rough Riders cruise by the Raiders 21-2. Crowder wins the best-of-3 series to move on to the Region 16 tournament. They will face Metropolitan in Round 1 this coming Thursday. Pittsburgh State softball head coach Ashley Balazs resigns from her position. Balazs has led the program for the last 4 seasons. PSU softball had 74 wins and 106 losses during Balazs' time as head coach. This past 2021 season, the Gorillas finished 15-29. PSU narrowly missed the postseason after getting swept by Northwest in the final series of the regular season. That's a look at sports. More news next.
Next.
Severe thunderstorm watch for some people in our areas. We could see some storms tonight.
Yeah, it's affecting our northeastern counties until 5 a.m., Chris. We'll keep an eye on those as we work out of northeastern Kansas during the overnight. But for a good number of us in general, we're going to have rain and scattered storms around. Some of you tomorrow morning. Then the rest of the day is dry, but we'll have dropping temperatures, 63 in the morning, and then we'll spend the rest of the afternoon tomorrow in the 50s. Additional rain chances through Wednesday, then we'll start to dry out again by Thursday, Chris.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. And that's our time for now. Our next news time is tomorrow night at 9 on Fox 14. We'll see you again here at 10 on KOAM. Remember, for the latest news, weather, and sports at your fingertips, just head over to KOAMNewsNow.com or check out the KOAM News Now app. And thanks for making us part of your night.